Hello Infiniteers, and welcome back to Toybox Tutorials. I have picked up a lot of new subscribers over the past few months, so for those of you who are new to my channel and you are wondering why I am posting this instead of the next episode in my Monsters Inc. series, it's because I typically run a different series on Fridays, and historically this has usually been my Toybox Tutorials series. So that's why you're seeing this video today. But don't worry, I will return to my Monsters Inc. series on Monday. Now so far in this series, I've taught you a lot about the toy box mode in Disney Infinity 3.0 and how to use many of the game's logic toys, and I still have a number of those toys left to cover. But before I do that, I want to take 2 or 3 weeks to address some how-to questions that I am frequently asked. And by far, the largest set of questions that I get involves some aspect of the toy store. Nearly every day someone asks how to find something in the toy store, or how to find some toy they've purchased in the editor so that they can use it, or how to unlock some toy that's currently locked. And so I need to spend one episode addressing all of these questions so that I don't have to keep answering them all the time, and I can just point people to this video. Now I am going to assume that you have visited the Toy Box Hub and talked to Scrooge McDuck and gone through the tutorials on the toy store, and that you know all about the currency that the toy store uses and the basics of how to purchase toys. I am not going to cover all of that here. I would much rather focus on the things that Scrooge's tutorials do not teach you, like how to find and unlock specific toys. So if we go into the toy store, now the first question that I am often asked is this: how do I find some particular toy in the toy store? Well, the simple answer is, I don't know. I do not have the toy store folders memorized. In order to answer your question, I would have to go down to my basement, fire up my console, start up the game, go into the toy store here, and start browsing all of the folders to look for your toy. I am not going to do that because you can do that yourself. However, let me give you some tips that might help you out. And while we're browsing through the toy store together, let me also address the second question that I am often asked, which is, once I have purchased a toy from the toy store, how do I find it in the editor? Because for most of the toys, even though it's pretty straightforward, there are some toys that don't end up where you would expect them to. If you know which playset or franchise the toy came from, then you can use the game's built-in filters to find them, and I covered the topic of filters way back in episode 2, so you should definitely go back and watch that video if you need to. I don't usually use filters in my videos because I want people to see where to find toys in the unfiltered editor drawers, because that's frankly how most people use the editor. So as we browse through the toy store here together, and we see how it's organized, I'll try to point out where these toys end up in the unfiltered editor, okay? And as we go along, we'll talk about the third question that I'm frequently asked, but I don't want to get ahead of myself here. So as we start out, we enter the toy store. You'll notice there's a number of folders here. And the first 2 folders, World Construction Toys and Set Pieces and Building Sets, these are pretty much all of your static world building toys. Horseplay Toys, which is kind of an unfortunate name because it's only ever used here. This is all of your interactive toys basically. So your vehicles, your townspeople, enemies, and so on. Advanced Toys are your logic toys, and I'm going to go through each of these folders in more detail here in a moment. The interior toys, these are all only available in the interior, and we have not talked about the interior yet in this series, so I'm not really going to go through these toys too much, but everything you find under here is going to be in the interior editor somewhere. And then we have 3 other folders that you probably will not see unless you're on a console and you have the most recent version of the game, the one that introduced all of these things. So we have 2 for the Marvel Battlegrounds and 1 for Finding Dory. But let's start with the first folder here. We'll open that up. And you'll see there's some subfolders underneath here. So the first one is Toy Box Themes, and if we go in there, these are all of the terrain themes that are available for you to purchase. And the first thing I want you to notice is that this pane here that's on the left, notice on the right side of this, right down the middle of the screen, there's a yellow line there. This is a scroll bar, and so this pane is scrollable. So there's actually more than what you see right here. If you scroll down, there's another set down here. And I wanted to point that out because it's not real obvious. It's not easy to see that scroll bar. And so one of the reasons you might be having trouble finding things in the toy store is because you're not scrolling down all the way. So I want you to be aware of that. It took me a while playing Disney Infinity before I realized that some of these panes were scrollable and there was more toys here than I was seeing. So I want you to be aware of that. Now, one of the questions that I get, the third question that I'm frequently asked, is how to unlock certain things in the toy store. Because initially they may be locked with a padlock or something. And some of the descriptions have a little wording on the right there that tell you how to unlock it. So for this one in particular, you'll notice it says you can purchase this toy from the toy store, or you can unlock it with the Toy Box Expansion game piece. And unfortunately, it doesn't tell you which Toy Box Expansion game piece you need. But for the terrain themes, there's 4 of these that are like that and have that description. And all of them are the 2.0 Toy Box Expansion games. So for this one, you need Brave Forest Siege. So if you place that on the Disney Infinity base while you're in 3.0, you can't play that Toy Box game, but you can unlock this terrain theme with that. This one comes from Escape the Kiln. This is from Assault on Asgard, and this is Stitch's Tropical Rescue. If you have those discs and you place them on the base, you can unlock these themes without purchasing them. If you don't have those discs, then it costs you 500 sparks to unlock this theme. All right, and we'll talk a little bit more about unlocking things as we go through the drawers here. Now I can go back on my editor with the B button on my Wii U, scroll over to the next folder, and go into that. Or you'll notice there's some yellow arrows at the top of the screen that are moving back and forth. So on my Wii U, I can press L, for example, to go back to Toy Box Themes, or right to go forward. So you don't have to always go back out and come back into another folder. You can go in that way. But in here, you find all of the skies. And again, you're going to find the same wording here for the 4 skies that go with those Toy Box Expansion games from 2.0. So I won't cover that again. Notice again there's a scroll bar here with that yellow bar down the middle of the screen. So there's some more hiding down below. If we come back out and go into rail slide customizations, these are all of the themes for the rail slides. And the first 3 folders here, Toy Box Themes, Toy Box Skies, Rail Slide Customizations, I covered all of these in episode 3. So if you want to know where to find these in the editor, go watch episode 3. The next folder is Creators. And you'll notice the text on the right for each of these says that this creator is granted when all the necessary toys are acquired. So what you need in order to unlock these is to purchase all of the other toys that this creator needs. And once you do that, this becomes available. So as you're naturally purchasing things here in the toy store, you'll eventually unlock these. And when you do, and when you purchase these, you'll find these in the creators drawer in the editor. Blocks. Now you would expect all of these blocks would be in the basic blocks drawer, and they're not. The first 6 folders here are 7 folders, but the next 4, these are in the gameplay toys drawer. So glass blocks, wooden blocks, metal blocks, and the explosive block, you find those in the gameplay toys. This one you find in the blocks drawer. And you'll notice the icons here look different than like this one. And that's because these are packs. If you notice on the description on the right, it says this Toy Box Pack. If you want to see all the toys that are available in the pack, notice the menu at the very bottom of the screen there's an option there that says View Pack. On my Wii U, I press X. That opens up the pack so that I can see all of the toys that are available in this pack. So sometimes the toy you're looking for is actually hidden inside one of these packs. So you need to go, when you're browsing and looking for that toy, remember to open up the pack and look inside the pack to see if the toy you're looking for is inside one of these packs. And when you purchase this, you're going to unlock all of the toys in that pack. Alright, the next one here is Terrain, and all of these are found in the Terrain category. And again, you have a number of packs here for this. Decorations, there's 2 pages for decorations. There's page 1 and page 2. Inside page 1, now you would expect everything in the decorations folder to be found in the decorations drawer. And for the most part it is, but not everything. The city building decorations, city street decorations, and city construction decorations, these 3 packs are found in Building Sets Group 2. So if you're having trouble finding those after you purchase them, that's where you're going to find those. Everything, though, in Decorations page 2, you will find inside the Decorations category in the editor. And same thing with plants. Everything in the plants drawer here will be found in the plants drawer in the editor. Alright, so that's World Construction Toys. Now we come into set pieces and building sets. This one is pretty straightforward because the first 4 folders here are all set pieces, and you find those in the set pieces category in the editor. Buildings you find in the buildings category in the editor. This is Building Sets Group 1, Group 2, Group 3, Group 4. You have 2 folders for Building Sets Group 5. You have 2 folders for Building Sets Group 7. So everything you purchase here is easy to find in the editor. All right. If we open up Set Pieces 1, for many of you, this first item is probably going to be locked. And if you look at the description on the right, it tells you how to unlock it. It says you unlock this toy by placing your Magic Band on the Disney Infinity base. The Magic Band is something you can buy when you visit Disney World or Disneyland, or you can buy it, I believe, on the Disney Store online, or you can get a used one on eBay, but you have to have that Magic Band in order to unlock this. Once you have it, place it on the base, it unlocks this toy. You'll notice there's no cost, because when you unlock it, it gives you the toy. You don't have to purchase it. If you come down to like Arendelle Castle, you'll notice the description here says to unlock this toy for purchase, place the Toy Box Speedway Toy Box expansion game piece on the base. So you have to own the Toy Box Speedway game piece in order to unlock this toy. And when you place that on the base, you'll notice the description says you'll unlock this toy for purchase. So putting the game piece on the base unlocks this, then you can come in here and buy it for 2,500 sparks. The description on Marshmallow is a little bit different. You'll notice it says you unlock this toy in the Toy Box Speedway Toy Box expansion game. And what this is telling you is that you don't just need the Toy Box expansion game for Toy Box Speedway. There's something you have to do inside that game that will unlock this toy. So there's a feat you need to do or an achievement you need to get to unlock it. And this does not tell you what that is, unfortunately. But what you can do is go to a website called infinityguru.com. All right? Make sure you bookmark that. I'll put a link to that website in my video description for you and on my blog to make it easy for you to go to it. But once you go there, bookmark it because you're going to use that website a lot. I do. When you go to that website, you'll notice there's a red menu bar across the top of the page with several drop-down menus for Disney Infinity 3.0, 2.0, and 1.0. Click that, like for 3.0, and that's going to display a menu with all of the playsets and games from that version. Click on the playset that you want, click on Unlockables, And that's going to take you to a page that tells you how to unlock every toy available in that playset. So all you have to do is scroll down, find the toy you want, and it will tell you exactly what you need to do to unlock it. Again, I'll put a link to this site in the video description so you can find it. But that website is invaluable because that tells you what this page does not tell you, which is how to unlock that specific toy and what you got to do. All right, so hopefully that will help you a lot for most of the toys in these folders. All right. Okay, continuing on. Again, most of these are unlockable. You'll see I have a few locked from like the Inside Out playset. I haven't played all the way through that yet. I need to finish that up so I can unlock these and see what they are. But again, all of these are available in the Set Pieces category in the editor once you've purchased them. I've got one here that I haven't unlocked yet either. That's actually a very hard achievement if I remember right, which is why I haven't been able to get that one yet. All right, next up we have buildings. All of these are in the buildings category in the editor, and these are all from the 1.0 playsets basically. Building Sets Group 1, these are all of those from Building Sets Group 1 in the editor. Now this one, you'll notice it says these pieces are from the Ewok Village building set, and it doesn't tell you what playset that's from. And even if you open up the pack to look at the pieces and you look at the descriptions for those, that just says it's from Star Wars. It doesn't tell you, unfortunately, which playset you need. But again, go to infinityguru.com and you can browse through the set of toys from each of the 3 Star Wars playsets and find these, and it'll tell you what you need to do to unlock them. All of the Ewok toys are from Endor, and that's in Rise Against the Empire. So that's the playset for those. And these are from Building Sets Group 2, Group 3, Group 4, and so on. So again, these are pretty easy to find once you do go into those. All right. One thing I want to cover in Building Sets Group 4, you have these pieces here, and the description says you unlock these in Plotting for Plants. That's actually a tutorial in the Toy Box Hub. That's where you find those. And as you can see, I haven't done all of those tutorials yet myself because I still have to unlock the flower pot. But that's where you find those, is in the Toy Box Hub. All right. Next up are the Horseplay toys. Again, these are the interactive toys. So you have Critters. Those end up in the Critters category in the editor. You have Cast Members. That ends up in the Cast Members drawer in the editor. Sidekicks, that's pretty obvious. Townspeople, that's kind of obvious. All of these end up in those categories. You have Character Townspeople. You have Toy Box Townspeople. You have Playset Townspeople. Those are 3 different categories in the editor. Then you have Enemies, Mounts and Vehicles. The mounts end up in the Mounts category. These end up in the Ground Vehicles category in the editor. When you purchase the Flying Vehicles, that ends up in the Flying Vehicles drawer in the editor. All right, Instant Fun. You would expect all of these to be available in the Instant Fun category in the editor, but they're not, unfortunately. Many of them are, but for example, these 2 at the end, at the bottom, are going to be found in the platforming toys. These guys are builders, and you have to get all of the toys in order to unlock that builder. This will end up in the Creators and Builders drawer, I believe. Platforming toys, these do end up in the platforming toys category, as do these. Racetrack pieces, all of these toys end up in that category in the editor. Purchasing the sports toys ends up putting all of these in the sports toys category. And tools and packs, though, are a little different. These toys are not available in the Toy Box editor. Instead, you get to these through the Packs and Tools menu And there's tutorials in the hub that tell you how to use packs and tools. So I'm not going to cover that here. But that's where you find these. These are not, again, in the editor. Advanced toys. These are your Creativa toys and your Logic toys. So the first 4 are the Creativa toys, and you're going to find those in the Creativa toys category. The next 2 are gameplay toys. You find those in the gameplay toys drawer. And then templates, you find those in the templates drawer. And again, interior toys, you find all of these in the interior toy box editor. I'm not going to cover all of those. These 3 folders, again, are only available on console, and I believe they're only available if you have the latest game update before Disney Infinity was canceled. And for most platforms, you can download these still. On the Wii U, I'm not sure if you can or can't. You might be able to get the update, because I don't think you purchased this through the online eShop. I believe these are just available as part of your game updates, so these might still be available, or they might not. I'm not sure. But if you open up the first folder here, this is kind of a hodgepodge of things. Some of these you find in the decorations category. Some of them, like the button casing, you find in Creativa toys. Some of these you find in the gameplay toys drawer, like the enhancement station, the Nowhere portal, gantry claw, and the rocket engine. Some of these you'll find in set pieces, like the mine car and Ultron core. And others, I think I already covered decorations, so that's these. Everything in page 2 is found in decorations, so that's where you'll get to these. And again, notice the scroll bar. So there's some hiding down here. For the Finding Dory toys, page 1, again, is kind of a hodgepodge of things. You'll find the Spotted Eagle Ray vehicle under Flying Vehicles in the editor. You'll find some of these under Gameplay Toys. The Bubble Door, I believe you find that under Decorations. You have your terrain theme and skies. Again, you find those where you find the terrain themes and the skies. Under page 2, the first 8 or so of these you'll find under Buildings. The rest of these are under Set Pieces. And all of the rest of these are under the Decorations category. So all of these coral formations and seaweeds and different things, that's where you're going to find those. Okay, I think that is pretty much everything about that. So that's how you find and unlock things in the toy store. You just have to browse around, and hopefully the tips in this video will help you find what you're looking for, both in the toy store and in the editor after you buy it. As for unlocking various toys, we got the parade going here. I love the Toy Box Hub and the parades that kick off. That's always so fun. Let's get away from all of that noise. But that's how you find and unlock things in the toy store. Again, hopefully the tips here will help you find the toys before and after you buy them. And as for unlocking the toys, remember, look at the toy descriptions and definitely bookmark the Infinity Guru site in your web browser. Well, that's all from me today. Leave a comment before you go and let me know if this tutorial was helpful for you. And if it was, please hit the like button. Thank you for watching and have a great weekend.